What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a podcast about movies. I am Jacob, joined by Austin. As always, Austin, how's it going?
Hey man, it's been a long week. I've had a lot of shows and not much sleep, but I finally have a day off tomorrow, so I'll be heading to bed about 8 o'clock tonight. So if that's okay with everybody, you know the thing, Jacob, when you were a kid and you're like, man, when I'm an adult, I'm gonna stay up as long as I want, and I'm gonna whatever. And then you had a bedtime when you were a kid, but then when you get older, you're like the bedtime was probably for a good reason, and
Oh,
then you end up going to bed at the bedtime you had when you were a kid, anyways. Yeah, that's an adult thing to all you kids
it
out there
totally
watching.
is. You might hate nap time now, but trust me,
You're gonna love it in about 20 years. In about 20 years, you're gonna love those 2-hour naps. You're gonna be big on them.
yes, I have kids at work that are like, I don't want to take a nap, and I'm like, you say that now.
You say that now, but man, I can't wait to get a nap some days when I get home. It's like, yep.
I love my weekend naps.
Yes.
But we're not here to nap. We are here to talk movies, and
This
we've
is
got
not
another
this is
wheel.
not a podcast about napping. It's a podcast about movies.
Yeah, I want who would pay to watch us nap?
I'll tell you what, I guarantee
This
there are
right.
Twitch streamers, hot girls that literally sleep on camera and dudes pay them. I swear that's a real thing. I've seen it.
I will leave it. People will pay for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, we're here to do another one of our blind ranking episodes. These are always fun, but we mixed it up this time. I have requested a 90s and 2000s comedies. Hopefully, I've seen most of the movies that are.
I think
on
these
the
are
list.
pretty mainstream. I think you've seen most of them, but that's why we do alternates, just in case.
Right, that's why we do 30.
Pretty sure you have.
And then you requested 80s and 90s action, so I have a wheel ready for you. And if Letterboxd has it listed as action,
okay,
it's on the list. So you might have a different. I didn't think of that as an action movie, but I guess there's action in it.
Yes.
So maybe that'll affect your ranking. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna rank.
I don't know. We'll see.
So, yeah, but what we're gonna do is we'll spin the wheel 20 times for each of us, and we will rank it without knowing what's coming next. So one at a time, going back and forth, and we have each written down a number.
I have one on the other paper behind this paper, so it is already written down.
We've already written down a number, so whatever movie Austin ranks at this number, and whatever movie I rank at the number he has written down, we will discuss in 2 weeks on our next episode, as well as we will spin the wheel from the leftovers, one from each, and we will also discuss those in our next episode. So those will be our next 4-pack of movies. So I'm looking forward to it because I think I've got some bangers on your wheel.
I have what I consider mostly good movies on my wheel for you. I think there might be a few on here that you're not. I think you said are not as high as some other people in the community, so that might be like not as good for you, but maybe like other people like it. A few that I don't know your opinion on, or at least I don't think I know your opinion on, but they're mainstream. But yeah, I mean, so I think I may have like one or two downright stinkers, but mostly like acceptable movies. I would say acceptable to really good movies. So I try not to like go too heavy on the bad movies, but you might rank something really low that like other people would rank higher, just for personal taste, just like your animated thing. So you never know.
Yeah, I was looking at your list, and I'm like, I don't think I put a bad movie on the list, so this should be interesting to see what goes at the bottom.
That actually makes it tougher because then you're like, ooh, is there going to be something better, or should I go ahead and take? Because we've each had moments on this one. I think I had like Jaws on one thing at like, or something like that on like number 10 or something, and then you had like one of your all-time favorites end up being like, number in the middle of the pack or something. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I've learned over the other 3 shows that we've done of this, you cannot wait for that number one. If you think something is worthy of that number one spot, you might.
Things like in your personal, like I would say top 5 or even top 10, you just kind of got to go for it sometimes, you know, like you just gotta, because at least then it's a really good movie that you're passionate about. So if something comes up, you just gotta go. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I've got my wheel ready. I know that you've got the wheel ready. So
All
would you
right.
like
Who
to
wants
go
to?
first this time?
As far as spinning or receiving?
Receiving. Would you like to run first?
Sure. You go ahead and spin for me first. Absolutely. Yeah, let's
All
do
right,
that. All right, here we go.
get the wheel. Okay, I got the prime spin ready. So now it is ready, and it is spinning.
All right.
Ooh,
Ooh, up
we
a little
got
bit.
Highlander.
Highlander. Oh man, I haven't seen Highlander in years. I own the Blu-ray, but it's been a minute since I've actually sat down and watched it. I remember that's one I need to go back and rewatch. But it's a good solid like fantasy action, but I'm not a huge fantasy guy overall, Jacob. I think you've heard me talk about that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, even when it comes to like Lord of the Rings and stuff. Not that I don't think they're good movies. Again, I'm not a big like fantasy dude. So you know what? I'm gonna feel pretty safe putting in this at like a number 19. I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh,
do
okay.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm not super high on Highlander. I haven't gone back and rewatched it in a long time. It's not like a stinker, so I'm not gonna totally drop it to number 20, but I'm not super passionate about it either. So I'm comfortable with that. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
So number
Okay.
19.
I'm gonna hit the. I've already shuffled a couple times. I'm gonna hit the shuffle button one more time just to be safe. And here we go. All right. Spin, spin, spin is in. Don't want to spoil too much, so I don't want to show too much.
Right.
All right. Wait till it's coming up. All right. Here it comes. We've got the Water Boy, Adam Sandler.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, I dig the Waterboy. Good sports movie. Got some very quotable lines. Of course, Captain Insano. We're both wrestling fans, so
Yes.
that's always
Right.
fun to see Paul White pop up. I think Kathy Bates as the mom is a fun character. Henry Winkler is the coach. Um, but it's not one that I go back to very often. I do think it's a good movie.
Mhm.
So I think I will put this at number. It's going to go in the bottom half.
Okay.
I think let's go 15.
15. All right.
15.
15 for
I
the
like
Water
15 for the
Boy. All
Water
right.
Boy.
Yeah. Now, I didn't go like super heavy on any particular actors or whatnot. So you may see another Adam Sandler movie. Maybe not. I can't promise you that. There might be another one in here or two. I mean, there are those actors that made a lot of comedies. So they do show up. So they
Right.
definitely could be in here. But yeah, so there you go. But obviously, strictly 90s, 2000s.
All right. Your
Okay.
wheel has spun, and we've got
Ooh, RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Oh, snap. Well, you know me, I love me some RoboCop. Man, it's not like the all-timer, like top 20 or anything like that, like movies or whatever, but it's in my 128. Like I love that movie, and I think it is a brilliant piece of kind of satire along with, exploitation action and whatnot. I'm gonna go fairly high on RoboCop. Let's go like number 3 for RoboCop.
All
Because
right.
I would feel comfortable putting that one in like a top 5 because, like I said, it's in my top 64/128 type thing. So I'm gonna go pretty high on RoboCop.
I thought that
But
one would be fairly high.
yeah, fairly high. Again, you got to take those chances at least with the top 5 if you like it a lot and you've seen it a lot, and it looks good on 4K by the way from Arrow,
Okay.
which I
Nice.
showed off on our show if you remember.
That's right.
So
That's
yes,
right.
all right, all right. Your spin is in. Spin, spin, spin. And let's see what we got for your next comedy. Oh, this could be right on the border. We've got Step Brothers, our first of Will
Okay.
Ferrell. Okay,
Yeah. No,
2009.
I dig Step Brothers. I think Will Ferrell in the 2000s um, might be like my favorite comedy actor. I think he just put out
Mhm.
some really solid comedies in the 2000s. I go back and forth between. I don't know what else is on the list, so
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
back and forth between this and a couple of others of his. Which one's my favorite of the 2000s?
Are
But
they
then
on
I
the
got to remember.
list? You
Right, and then
don't
I've got
know. You
right, and then I've
don't
got to
know.
remember the
Maybe not.
'90s.
Yeah.
Like there could be a couple from the '90s that
Yeah, yeah.
I really love Step Brothers though. I'm gonna go fairly high too, and I'll go number 2.
Okay.
I'll go with
All
number 2 for
right.
Step Brothers.
All right. Sometimes you got to take that chance. Okay. Step Brothers. Excellent. Number 2.
All right, your
All right.
wheel is spinning, spinning, spinning,
And then
and we have landed on
we got Top
Top
Gun.
Gun.
I don't love the original Top Gun, so I'm in that camp where like I like Maverick way more, and I know Maverick's not on this list because it's not 80s or 90s, so I'm confident in that. But yeah, like I appreciate like what it did for Tom Cruise, what it did for some of the people in the movie, Anthony Edwards, Val Kilmer. It's like well directed, like the action's good in it. But I didn't like grow up with Top Gun. Those people that have like nostalgia for Top Gun. I don't have that because I didn't come to it till like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And so I think it's like okay, and it's a piece of its time. This is another one where I'd be fairly confident putting it in that sort of like bottom 5, and I'd be okay with it. So, but it's not like a horrible movie. So I'll put it at number 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you because I actually did I did a double feature because I hadn't seen the original Top Gun, and Maverick was just coming out, and I had bought it, and I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna do a double feature, and yeah, it's like we were here for Top Gun, and then let's just take a leap.
Yeah, way up on there.
Get the Top Gun Maverick.
I know, yeah, but Top Gun Maverick's not on the list, so I know that's not coming because the decade.
Not this time. Maybe
if I ask you for, I mean, even that wouldn't count. But maybe next time I'll do action, but like 2000s, 2010s, or something like that. Like we'll stay just in different decades. We'll see. All right, so your spin is in for some more comedy here. Let's see what comes up, and we're slowing down, and it's going to be another one that features Will Ferrell, but not as a star. Wedding Crashers.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen Wedding Crashers, but yeah, Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, I think they always work well together for the most part. And I think there's a great supporting cast here as well. And then you mentioned Will Ferrell. I think he absolutely steals the show when he comes in.
Right.
But again, I don't go back to it very often. Now it's like, do I like this more than Waterboy? Mm-hmm. Yes. So now it's like I know a range that I'm in.
How do we go?
I think this is going to be one of those where this might be the measuring stick. I think it's really funny. So
right in the middle.
I'm going to go number 10. Yeah. And
okay.
It's like
now you got that measuring stick of like better or worse than Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
All right. No, fair enough.
I remember we did what was it? 90s sitcoms for tier.
Better or worse than Coach? Was that it?
Was it better or worse than Coach? We had Coach in the I think either C or B tier, and we were like,
it was like low B tier, and it was like, is it better than Coach or not better than Coach? And that's how we judged most of the rest that came right after that, because it seemed like a perfect Coach is like perfectly fine if it's on, but like it's not anyone that anybody's gonna put on their list, like the greatest of all time.
Right.
But it's not like offensively bad or anything. It's just it's that one right in the middle.
All right, your wheel is spinning. It's spinning. And all right, let's see where you rank The Phantom.
Oh, I love me some Phantom. I love The Phantom. You guys know my kind of silly love with The Phantom. I've met Billy Zane. I've had him sign Phantom merchandise for me. I just think it's good old-fashioned fun. It's just kind of a throwback to the old serial era, the stuff that inspired like Raiders of the Lost Ark and whatnot. There's a scene at the beginning that's very similar to Sorcerer from 77 with like the bamboo bridge and all that. I just think it's a goofy, silly time with a fun villain. So I like The Phantom, and I'm a bigger fan than most people. So you know what? Let's go number 6 for The Phantom. I'm still gonna have it in the top 5 because I love me some Phantom. So I'll go number 6.
Figured that one would be fairly high for you.
Yeah, I like it.
I knew you liked it. I knew it wasn't like going to be your number one, so I'm like, let me put it on the list and see where it happens. Where it lands.
Yeah. No, I do like it though. You know me. I love me some Phantom. Me and Moose Haas love the Phantom. Right, here's your spin, slowing down here. Oh, right on the border. Where's it going to be? It's like right on the border. What's it? Okay, we got Bill Murray and Groundhog Day.
Haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen a Groundhog Day. Okay.
I haven't seen Groundhog Day yet. No.
You should watch it. Very good movie.
Yeah. So go ahead and leave it on the list just for like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, just in case for the after. Okay. Maybe so I will just close instead of remove, and we'll respin. Yes, because that's true. It could be a blind spot watch. Yeah, for sure. Good movie. All right, we're slowing down here. All right, we're going back to the 90s for There's Something About Mary.
Okay. Another one that I haven't watched in a while, but I do think Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz have fairly good chemistry with each other. And oh, what's his name? The private investigator. Whatever.
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's great. He might be my favorite part of the movie. But I think I'd go back to Wedding Crashers before I go back to There's
Sure.
Something About Mary. Let's go 14.
Okay. I'm kind of like you. Like, I think that movie's good, and like it's got its moments and its scenes, and I know it has a following. I'm just not as high on it as like everybody else in the world seems to be. You know, I think Ben Stiller has made better comedies. I think Cameron Diaz has been in better comedies. You know, just I think the Farrelly brothers have made better comedies. You know, in general. So yeah, but I get it if people like it. I had that running gag where I said repeatedly that every time I stayed in a hotel, it was always on TV. I don't know why. It was just like on FX all the time. So, all right.
Your wheel has spun, and I know this is another favorite of yours.
Oh boy! All right, what do we got?
I had to include the Tim Burton movie if I could, so I went Batman.
Oh shit! Oh boy! You know me, I love me some Batman. I've loved that movie for 30 years. I know it back and forth. Ryan Purvisson and I are going to do a watch along, and I know that dialogue 100%. I finally got to see it in a theater a few years back for an anniversary. That movie is really high on my list, and that one I do have like nostalgia love for that I've loved since I was a kid, and I still go back and watch it. I'm going to go pretty goddamn high on this one. Let's go number 2 for Batman.
Right.
I'd be okay at putting it number 2. Because I feel like there could be like that one in there still on the list that maybe beats it, but like, you know, I don't know, not much. So Batman is really high for me. Yeah. And celebrating an anniversary this year. Yeah. So 35th anniversary for Tim Burton. Yeah. All right. So your spin is in. Let's see which of the decades we're going with here. Slowing down. This one's going to be very close to, still in the 90s. And we're going more Adam Sandler, but this time Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah. I love Happy Gilmore. Man, I just rewatched it the other day too. Well, not the other day, but a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
After Carl Weathers had passed, and yeah, this movie is great. Another one that's got some pretty quotable lines.
Just one of the better sports comedies as well, just in general. Really good.
It might still be the best golf movie.
It's better than I like it more than Caddyshack, but I like Caddyshack. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Caddyshack, but Happy Gilmore makes me care about golf, which is something. Right. Yeah.
I should say I like Caddyshack also. I don't like Caddyshack 2.
Oh, right. I think what gives Happy Gilmore the edge, honestly, is Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin. He's so awesome in that movie.
He's great. Yeah. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Pieces of shit for breakfast?
Damn you people, this is golf. That's
Mr. Gilmore's jacket. I'm going fairly high again. I'm going, you know what? I'm okay with this being my number 1.
Oh, he's gonna take the shot. All right.
I'm okay with this being my number 1.
Okay. I like it. I like the brass. Yeah, I might have to do that depending on what comes up too. You know, I've gone pretty high so far. I've already knocked out 2 of my top 5 slots. So
yeah. I've knocked out 1 and 2. So I'm okay with it though. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on here, but again, some I don't know your opinion on, so we'll see, or I can't remember. But I know you don't love Billy Madison, but I know you like Happy Gilmore. I didn't know that. I will tell you this: Billy Madison's not on the list. I did not.
Okay, that would have been an easy number 20.
I know. Yeah, I don't have it on all list, so I didn't bother with that. There's 1 or 2 stinkers on here, but yeah, I don't have Billy Madison.
All right, your wheel has spun, and we have come up to They Live.
Okay. Yeah, They Live's an interesting one. Because it's not one I rewatch like a lot, but every time I watch it, I'm like, damn, this is like really good stuff. Obviously Roddy Piper's great, one of the better sort of wrestler actor performances, you know, that kind of came out of nowhere. That whole sequence, the 10-minute sequence where he's first gets the glasses and is like going around discovering everything, you know, all the magazines and the signs and all the people in the stores and everything is really great. Good direction from Carpenter. I still wouldn't put it probably like top 3 Carpenter. That's still like The Thing and Halloween and maybe even like The Fog for me personally or something like that. But it's still up there. So this is a good benchmark for me, Jacob. I'm gonna go number 10 with this one and say better or worse than They Live. I think this is a good one because I'd be okay with it being in the top 10, because it is very, very good. But I think that's gonna be a really solid like line, in the sand for me, better or worse than They Live. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, I know. I remember we've done like wrestlers and movies drafts before, and this one always goes.
Oh, it's like a first round pick, 100%. Yeah, it's like that and The Godfather because the Lenny Montoya and like, if there's like a good Rock movie or a good Batista movie, things like that. So, yeah, we got a new good one that might get drafted a lot with Dune Part 2
Dune Part
with
2.
Batista in there. So,
Batista is. I didn't know he could act that well.
Yeah, he's great.
So I'm very happy with the choices that he's made so far.
Yes. All right, your next spin is spinning, and let's see if we go to 90s or 2000s here. Looks like it's going to be 2000s, and we're going to go with Borat.
Ooh. Okay. Borat is
Cultural Learnings of America for May Benefit of Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. Full title. All right, there you go.
Borat is hilarious. I didn't know anything about this character. I didn't know it was something that he had, done before. But the movie is hilarious. Again, very quotable. The suit is black, not. It's better than Wedding Crashers. I might even. No, I don't know if I'd put it top 5. But I'd be okay with it being just outside at number 6.
Number 6. Okay, so number 6 for Borat. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, cool. All right, excellent.
Love this one. The second one is good.
It's good, but not great. I'll tell you one thing. I saw this first one with my dad opening weekend, and we laughed our asses off at Borat. We had such a great time. Like we both just laughed. He thought that running of the Jews thing at the beginning of the movie was like the funniest shit he'd ever seen in his life. Like it was the funniest thing. Like with the big heads, and they're like doing the running of the bulls, but it's like the big head things, like the mascot. It's so funny. So funny. Yeah.
All right, your wheel is spinning, and we are going to land on. Ooh, it was in the middle, but we landed on Big Trouble in Little.
Okay, so more John Carpenter, yeah, Big Trouble. It might be one where that's another movie that's grown on me that I was kind of late to. I didn't see it till I was about 20, maybe 21 or so. I loved the imagination. I thought Kurt Russell was kind of a weird flip on the tropes with like Kurt Russell thinking he's the hero, but he's not the hero. He's the sidekick, and always screwing up and pretty great. And a really fun script and whatnot. Great mishmash of sort of action and some comedy and fantasy. You know what? Like I would probably go to it. It's like almost right near They Live, so I'm wondering whether I go like a notch above They Live or a notch below They Live. Yeah. I'll go one notch below, but I'll take number 11 for Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, but I like it. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of it. But again, not my highest Carpenter and whatnot. But yeah, I still like it.
Yeah, I need to revisit it. I've seen it the one time, and it was fairly recent, within the last couple years.
It's fun. Like Kurt Russell is really fun in it, and it's got a great bevy of like character actors. Yeah, Kim Cattrall, like Victor Wong from Tremors, and what's his name from Balls of Fury and Kung Fu Panda. Oh God, why am I blanking on his name? The old school guy who plays Poe's dad in Kung Fu Panda. The Noodle Cut. James Hong, yeah, he's in there. There's Lopan, yeah, he's great. So yeah, all kinds of people show up in that movie. Anyways, yeah, sounds good. I'll go 11. All right, your spin is in for some more comedy here. We are 6 down? Okay, right on the border. What is it? Okay, we're back to the 90s with Wayne's World.
Okay, I'm not as high on Wayne's World as some other people. I think it's good. I think it's funny. But again, it's just not one that
I'm in the same boat as you.
Revisit very often. And you know what? I think I'd go back to The Waterboy before I go back to Wayne's World. But I'm not saying it's like bottom 5 in terms of quality. Like,
Yeah.
these are all
Personal preference.
pretty good movies so far. But it's not bad enough for me to put it at number 20. So I'll go 17.
17 for Wayne's World. I'm in the same camp as you. If it's on, like, it's a good time while it's on. Yeah, and it's enjoyable and it's entertaining, but I'm not in that camp that like overly loves it like kind of everybody else does in this community. Like, I know Jordan's a big fan of this movie, things like that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I like it. I don't know if I like super love it, but I like it. So, but yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah. All right, Wayne's World number 17. Okay.
All right, let's see how you feel about The Hunt for Red October.
That's one I did actually rewatch not long ago, actually for a battleground match, because we were doing like overrated McTiernan, which again I hate overrated questions, but it is what it is. So I picked Hunt for Red October and watched it. Yeah, that's one where I'm not super huge on Hunt for Red October. I like I'm a Crimson Tide guy. If I have to go like 90 submarine movies, way more than Hunt for Red October. It has its moments, but I don't love the Jack Ryan movies. So I'm okay putting this at 18 actually, because I'm not like a huge personal fan of it. Yeah. But again, it's well made, it's well directed from McTiernan, and that good performances, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like, yeah. I'm not. I know other people that are way high on it, and I'm higher on other John McTiernan movies. I'll say that. Maybe one will come up, maybe one. I don't know. Maybe a couple of them will come up. We'll see. I know you love Wayne's World. We're not as high as you are, but we both said it's good.
Yeah,
we're not dunking on it. All right, cool. All right, shuffle this one more time. I haven't shuffled it in about 2 or 3 spots. So, all right, here we go. Another spin for you, sir. We are on to, looks like the 2000s. Oh, one I'm a big fan of. Let's see how you feel about Hot Rod with Andy Samberg.
I love Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I think this movie is hilarious. I think the relationship between Rod and his dad is I think stepdad. It's absolutely hilarious, and he's just trying to raise all this money to cure him so he can fight him one more time. It's
Ian McShane from John Wick,
who's hilarious too. It's such a ridiculous premise that you read it on paper and you're like, oh, that's kind of stupid. But then you watch the movie and you're like, oh, no,
funny.
That's kind of great. The fact that this is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes is also a crime.
I almost picked it, but I think it was in the 30s, not below 30. But it was but if you went like 40% and lower, like I definitely would have picked Hot Rod for that show because I love it. I love it too. Like I remember seeing this movie, not knowing much about it, and like I was just an SNL fan, and I liked his digital shorts, or whatever. So, and it looks just kind of absurdist, bro. I had the best time at the movie. I thought that shit was like so funny. Like I laughed tremendously throughout that movie. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not giving myself much room in this top 5, but I'm going number 5 for Hot Rod.
Number 5 for Hot Rod. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were going to fill out that top 3 or not, and just
we'll see.
Right. Hot Rod. Okay.
Hot Rod is cool beans.
Cool beans. Beans. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Who do you think would win in a fight? A grilled cheese sandwich or a taco? Well, are we talking prison rules?
All right.
It's spinning, and another one I know that you're pretty high on. We've got Con Air.
Oh shit! I love Con Air, man. Con Air is so much fun. Great bevy of characters. To me, it's like the greatest Michael Bay movie that's not a Michael Bay movie because it kind of feels like one, when you watch it, just like with the editing and the fact that it's got all like the character actors in it. Like it kind of feels like that and Armageddon like just switch their cast list almost, and it's very similar. You could like flip-flop them and be almost the same thing. I just think it's a really, really entertaining good time. I watched it all the time when it came on TV. I'm pretty high on Con Air, man. I'll slip it in that number 5 spot. Yeah, I love me some Con Air. Yeah. I think it's a great example of bonkers 90s action. Just like you want to see like what the 90s action was all about, watch Con Air. That'll give you everything you want to know about like a typical action movie in the 90s. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's another one I'm due for a rewatch on.
It's a good time. All right. So your spin is in, sir. And it's going to, we might be going back to the 90s here with somebody I don't think we've seen yet on the list, Jim Carrey in Liar Liar.
Okay. Oh
Yeah. Mhm.
man, we're getting some heavy hitters here because I
Yeah,
also
right.
love Liar Liar. I think joke for joke, this might be his funniest movie.
I've said the same thing.
Yeah,
It just is. Yeah.
and all the physical stuff that he also does. Um, I hope I don't regret this, but I'm pretty comfortable putting it at number 7. It's one of those things where 5, 6, and 7 can all be interchangeable, and I'd be okay
Right.
with it.
Yeah,
So I'm okay putting it at 7, and I'm hoping that there's just a couple more that are just absolute bangers that I could put at that 3 and 4 spot.
I can tell you there are potentials in here. I'll tell you that. So hopefully you spend some of them. We'll see. At least ones that are favorites of mine still too. So hopefully that gives you some confidence. There are definitely ones still in here for sure. All right. Cool.
All right, cool.
Oh man, I've stayed pretty even so far. I got a lot from like 12 through 16 still in there. So hopefully I get some other ones I'm not as high on. But burning through some good favorites here.
Yeah, and this will be the halfway point because this will be number 10, and we'll see where you put Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black's good. I think it's one of those things where I can't remember if it was in my 128 or not. I'd have to go look it up. But yeah, I've seen Men in Black like so many times, and it's a great example of a sci-fi kind of buddy cop movie, and one of the better examples of a buddy thing. I think Liar Liar is funnier than Dumb and Dumber. There, I said it. Like pound for pound. But Dumb and Dumber is still really good. Yeah. I just if I had to pick one of the two, the one I've gone back and watched more is Liar Liar. But yeah. Yeah, man, Men in Black is really, really good, and I like it more than They Live. So let's go number 9. Yeah. I'd be fine with that one being in the top 10 because I have seen it probably 50 or 60 times, over my lifetime, and I do really like it. It's very entertaining. So yeah. All right.
Still haven't hit these numbers yet.
Haven't we? Oh.
No, like you're nope. You're the number that I chose for you is still available.
You have not hit the number I chose for you yet.
Wow.
All right. We'll see where this goes. Paul Blart Mall Cop.
All right, so we have our number 20.
There you go. I figured
we have our number. We have our number 20, and
I did put one or two stinkers in there, like I said, so you could at least have something that if it came up, you could dump it. And there you go.
Need to say about that. All
right. Paul Blart, you're using.
I think Kevin James is having fun.
I'm glad he's having fun, but yeah, it's not his best movie.
It's not. I mean, there's a couple more. Like it's not 2000, so it wouldn't be on the list. But like, Here Comes the Boom is a lot of fun. I actually kind of really like that one. But,
I like Here Comes the Boom as well. I think he's good in that. Yeah.
Mall Cop, no, thank you.
At least it's not the sequel.
That's also true.
The sequel is way worse.
All right, a movie that I just watched recently for the first time, Air Force One.
Oh yeah, again, really, really solid, good movie. Yeah, Harrison Ford's Die Hard movie because every action hero had their own Die Hard movie, and this is Harrison Ford's Die Hard. Really well directed. Gary Oldman's great as the villain. I mean, when is he not great? But he's fantastic. My only one thing is two little nitpicks. I think it's a little too long. It's about 2.5 hours. I think it runs a little too long, and I think they could pick up the pace a little bit. And the CGI at the end with the plane crashing is horrible. It's really bad, like 1997 CGI. Yeah. Otherwise, I think all the set work is good, and it doesn't have those great fight scenes because it's Harrison Ford and it's not like a action guy. So it's very good. So I'm not going to dunk on it. I think 12 is a perfect spot for it. So I'll go number 12.
All right.
But I do like Air Force One. That's another one that anytime it was on TV back on cable, I would watch it.
I'm definitely going to revisit it because I think Harrison Ford's really good. I think the action is really good. I think your nitpicks are my nitpicks, but Gary Oldman is giving a fantastic performance.
Yeah, and it's got a good little, again, another great like sort of character actor side cast like William H. Macy, Philip Baker Hall, Glenn Close. Like there's a lot of like recognizable
Oh yeah.
faces that pop up throughout that movie, you know? So yeah. All right. Well, here's your next spin. Let's see what we got here. We are going to maybe some more 90s. This might depend on if it's a nostalgia pick for you or not. We've
Okay.
got Good Burger.
Okay. It's not. I remember really liking it as a kid.
Mhm.
And I actually bought the Steelbook when it came out.
Mm,
uh,
me too.
but I haven't popped it in the player yet, and I haven't seen the sequel yet either.
Sequel's not great, I gotta say. It's not great. It's
So,
just
and I think just in comparison to everything else that's on the list, um, I don't think it's there. Again, I think it's funny. It's funny. I think for like kids and teens, I think they'll really enjoy it. But um, hey, maybe after I rewatch it, my opinion will change because, like I said, I haven't seen it in a while. But for now, I think that 18 spot
okay.
for Good Burger is good.
All right. All right. No, fair enough. Figure that would depend on whether you still like it or not, or if you grew up with it, that
Right.
sort of thing. Yeah. Fair enough, sir. Yeah, I've got a couple more top spin 10 spots, and then I've got 5 bottom half spots. So yeah, this is a crapshoot.
Got
So
that
I'll have to
number
make some
20.
decision.
Oh,
Still, I got number 20 and number 1. I know.
all
Need to
right.
make a decision here.
Yeah, we've got a pretty heavy hitter when it
Okay.
comes to tournament fights. So we'll see how highly you rank The
Oh
Matrix.
shit. All right. Yeah, it might be time to take that plunge and just because it's a top 20 movie of all time, and if I sit here and wait for something else that is not in the league of Batman and the Matrix, movies that are in my top 50, that sort of thing. Like, I feel like I'm gonna miss out. And I would not be ashamed in the first DVD I ever owned, and the thing where I've watched the lobby scene 9,000 times, and a movie that I love dearly. You know what? Yeah, you got to take the plunge like you did. Matrix number 1. Let's do it. Yeah,
All
I'd
right.
be. I think anybody, if they said The Matrix is their favorite action movie of all time, I couldn't disagree. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't say I don't
Yeah.
understand that. So that's going to be my logic for that.
No,
Yeah,
it works. Yeah. No, it's
and it still is a top 20 or so movie of all time for me, so I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, that works. So you got to take that plunge. All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. Your spin is in. And we are going to go, looks like, back to the 90s again. And we're going to go. I don't know your opinion on this one. We'll see. Friday, the original Friday.
also haven't seen this one yet.
Oh, okay. So we'll keep it on the wheel, though, just in case it comes up
Yeah.
for an alternate. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a trilogy that I wanted to get to at some
Okay.
point this year. I've been trying to do a lot of first time watches this year. I've been keeping a list. I'm at 31 so far, but a couple of those are from
All
2022
right.
as well.
This could be a heavy hitter as well. We have spun the great parody film Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox
Mm.
story. So there we go.
All right, yeah, no, this is a great one. I think, yeah, I think this is just one of the better. It might be the best parody movie. Um, for me personally, I know Airplane is
I would
as
say at
well.
least of the 2000s for sure,
Of
like
the
of that
2000s,
of the
yeah.
decade. Yes.
Um, mm, I am comfortable putting this in the top 5 because I think it's great. I think John C. Riley is fantastic. Yeah, like if Will Ferrell was number 1 for comedy in the 2000s, I think I have no shame putting John C. Riley number 2.
Yeah.
Um, they also did some really good dramatic stuff too as well. So very versatile actor. Let's go number 4 for Walk Hard.
Number 4, Walk Hard. Okay. No, I love Walk Hard. I just picked up the steel book of Walk Hard from Walmart that I saw the other day.
So did I.
So there we go. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cheers to that. It's great. It has both versions of the movie on it too. It has like theatrical and then like an extended sort of
Mhm.
cut. You know what's great
That's
about
awesome.
Walk Hard too, though? It's also kind of a musical, and the music's awesome in that movie. All the
Oh
songs
yeah.
are great. They're really fun. Every single one. All the different decades of music and the styles of music he goes into. It's all really fun. Great
Yeah.
stuff.
Let's duet.
Let's duet in ways we never dreamed of. Let's do it. Anyways,
We've
all
got
right.
some. I had to find a way to get some animated action
I
on
see.
here,
Okay.
and so the animated action we want is Akira.
Okay. So Akira, yeah, I've only seen it the one time, but I watched it for when we did the one word titles thing. I think, or was it anime thing? I don't know. Whatever I watched it for, I watched it for recently, and that
It
was
might
my
have been the
first time.
Cure Anchor that we were doing.
Something like that. Yeah, it was definitely for a tier anchor, and yeah, it's really good. It's one of the few animes that I can actually watch and I like got into because it has like some body horror and some monsters and blood. It's like rated R, and I dig the dystopian sci-fi stuff. But again, I'm not huge on anime overall.
Mhm.
So I'm okay putting this in like a bottom. So I'll put it number 16, like
Oh.
because it's good, but like again, I'm not a huge anime guy just in general. So like it just is what it is as far as that goes. But I did like it. I could definitely say it's one of the few animes I did enjoy when I watched it. So yeah, it's definitely a banger. But it's not like terrible to where I put it at number 20. I just can't do that.
Right. Yeah,
So
no.
I can't do that because I like it more than Highlander and Hunt for Red October. So yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right, sounds good. Well, let's get your next spin here. And again, if we spin one of the ones you passed on, I'll just spin it again. But and that's gonna happen, so I'll have to spin it again because it spun Groundhog Day again. So again, I can't remove it, but I'll spin again here. Hang on a second. All right, going. Okay, we might be going to somebody we've already talked about again with another offering from the 90s, and we're gonna go The Mask, also with Jim Carrey.
All right. I love The Mask. It's funny. I think Liar Liar is a funnier movie, but I think I like The Mask more, probably just because I think it's also just like good action and just some like good physical.
Well, it's based on a
Comedy
comic
as well,
book, so it's got
yeah.
that comic booky kind of stuff to it, like the
Yeah.
wacky stuff and the animation and the effects and everything, and it's a lot of fun, those sequences.
Yeah, but since I'm basing this off comedy,
Mhm.
and I do think Liar Liar is a funnier movie,
Yeah.
I will go below it and I will go 9.
9. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's my dad's favorite Jim Carrey movie is The Mask. He loves The Mask as well.
Okay.
He just thinks it's a ton of fun. So yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh man, one of the great movie debuts for an actress. She's when she walks through the bank with that red dress on. Oh my goodness gracious, that is something special. But yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, your wheel is spinning, and we're gonna land on. All right, let's see, because I'm not sure if I've heard your thoughts on this one yet, and I know
Okay.
there's a sequel coming out to Beverly Hills Cop.
So yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. I've only seen 1 and 2, and it's been a long time, like since I've actually sat down and watched it. I was pretty underwhelmed with Beverly Hills Cop. I gotta be honest, because the original one, the second one has better action because it's Tony Scott. And the first one, like the action's not great, like the character work is okay, but I like a lot more. I like Trading Places and Coming to America in the 80s for Eddie Murphy, like way more than Beverly Hills Cop. So I know some people love it. I don't love it. I think it's just a little overrated, and it's not super huge for me. Yeah, I gotta put something there. I'm putting it at 20, honestly. Yeah, I'm not big on Beverly Hills Cop. Like, it's not one of my favorites. So, and I've never had an urge to go back and watch it. I might, watch it again before the new one comes out. But yeah, I don't mind this one being pretty low because I'm not super high on it. So, yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I think this is the only one I've seen. I haven't seen the other ones.
Yeah.
So, and
like I said, 2 at least has better action because Tony Scott amps up the action and it's pretty good. And then Gilbert Godfrey has a really funny scene. Like there's some good stuff like in there.
Nice.
Yeah, and I actually, if I had to say one or the other, I would probably go with number 2 over number 1. But yeah, from what I remember, again, I haven't seen him a lot. I've only seen him sporadically. I have the Blu-ray set, so I'll probably rewatch it before Axel Foley comes out. But we'll see. Yeah. All right, let's spin your wheel again. We got a couple of spots kind of all over the place for you, so let's see what happens here. All right, we're going literally to 1990, so it's just going to skirt in there with Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone.
Okay, I like Home Alone. again, this isn't a franchise that I'm as high on as others. But it is a fun Christmas movie. It is one that I don't know that I watch it every Christmas, but like every other Christmas for sure. It's like maybe I'll watch this or number two. Um, I do think it's really good. Again, I think the physical comedy here really lands. Let's go number 13 for Home Alone.
Okay. All right. Cool,
Number
cool.
13.
Home Alone at number 13. Jordan, it might be a top 3 for him, obviously. if he's watching. He loves
Yes,
Home
Brian.
Alone.
Joe Pesci, you don't have from Goodfellas to.
I know, same year, but he had a good year. He had a good 1990 because he had an Oscar-nominated or Oscar-winning performance, I should say, with Goodfellas. But then he also had the highest-grossing movie of the year with Home Alone. So he had a good year. Yeah, hell of a double.
All right, this is another heavy favorite of some people. We've got Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Raiders, and again, we it's a movie again I've seen a million times because I had the whole trilogy on VHS, so I would watch them, back to back. Sort of like the Back to the Future trilogy. You watch the one, and it's like, you know what? This week I might as well put on the other two. Watch that one, watch that one. Yeah, if I have to pick like a favorite from the trilogy, it's Last Crusade, but that's not a knock on Raiders because like it's just I
knew that, which is why I didn't put it on the list.
Right. So it's fine, but again, that's no knock against Raiders because Raiders rules. Like Raiders is fantastic and it has some of the best, action sequences back to, especially like there's that whole sequence where it goes from him getting thrown into Well of Souls to the airplane fight and shootout to the horse chase with the cars and the amazing car. Like it's one of the greatest pieces of like continuous 20-minute action filmmaking I've ever seen. Like it's still great. But it's such a good movie. I'm gonna go top 5. I'll go number 4. Yeah, I'll stick it in there because it's great. Right. It's indie. Because I have a nostalgic love for Indiana Jones as well, and yeah, I don't mind putting Raiders in there. So that works for me.
Well, this might be the first time since we've been doing the show that we will have covered a movie twice.
Oh, really?
Because the number that I have selected is number 4.
Okay. All right.
And I know because I know we did the Indiana Jones
franchise. Did we do
it? No, never mind. No, we did the sequels because we did the director thing, the director blind spots. I had seen Raiders. I hadn't seen the sequels, and instead of choosing one, I just ended up doing both of them. But I don't think we've actually talked about Raiders yet. I think we briefly touched on it.
We did Raiders on Wheel of Movies on the other show on the network. But yeah, like, hey, cool. I'm always down to talk Raiders. I love me some Raiders. And that's a movie that, like, if I watch it again, great. But I've also seen that movie 1,000 times, so I know it like backwards and forwards. Like, yeah, it's like. But if I had to, cool. You have not hit your number yet, so we're not there yet.
Wow, there's only one, two.
There's only a few numbers left.
There's only 5 spots left too.
You have not hit your number yet, so let's see if you pick it next. So there you go.
No, 6. I have 6 numbers left. Sorry.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're back to the 90s again with another comedic actor that had a run, Tommy Boy with Chris Farley.
All right. I'm pretty sure I've only seen this once. And this might be my hottest take of the show. I haven't really felt a desire to go back. I know there's a lot of people that are super high on it. But I'm just not one of them. And maybe I'm due for a rewatch and that feeling will change. But for now, I feel comfortable knowing my personal preference, putting it at 16.
Okay, fair enough. And it's not my number yet, so we're not going to watch Tommy Boy.
Wow.
All right, so
I have a feeling I'm between a couple on which I think you chose.
Yeah. All right,
but we'll see. No, I'm down. I'm always down to talk Raiders as well. So
I mean, yeah. Again, I've been talking Indiana Jones my whole life, so like I'm always down to talk Indiana Jones. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah. Even though we did a Wheel of Movies, like, yeah. I mean, that movie's amazing. Like, I'd be happy to dissect it any day for sure. So that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
All right. So we're gonna get another action comedy here
Rush
with
Hour.
Rush
Okay.
Hour.
Yeah, no, the original Rush Hour, speaking of DVDs I first owned, like The Matrix, Rush Hour was one of the first 3 DVDs we ever owned on our DVD
Nice.
ROM on our computer. Yeah, it was the other one. I think we actually got 2 DVDs like free with our computer from like a catalog or something that came with it, because it was the first run Snapcase DVDs, and I had it for the longest time. Between The Matrix and Rush Hour, both had like that kind of Snapcase, like old school DVD. And yeah, Rush Hour was a lot of fun, and it's like one of those ones that I've gone back to quite a bit, and I've seen. Yeah, that's another movie I just know front to back, and probably really my earliest introduction to Jackie Chan. Realistically, like I didn't start getting into him like more of his Hong Kong stuff till like later. So, yeah, I'd be comfortable putting this in number 8. Like I like Rush Hour a lot. Yeah, Rush Hour was great. Really, again, another fun, like really good, like buddy action movie. That works. So yeah, good
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it's a pretty solid trilogy too. I think some people aren't as high
I'm not
on the
as high on
third
3,
one.
but I also haven't rewatched it in a long time. So
Yeah,
yeah, but
I
1
think
and
my
2 are
favorite
great.
part of I think my favorite part of the third one is the outtakes during the credits. So I'm not sure what that says about the movie.
Well, Jackie Chan always has outtakes with his movies, so yeah. Even if you go watch his Hong Kong movies, like his action movies, like he always has like crazy outtakes of him getting hurt or like something going wrong or something hitting him in the head or like whatever it is. Like that's a staple of him. So they probably just kept that for the Rush Hour
Mm,
movies when they did that. So yeah, totally. All
nice.
right. All right, let's see what you got. Here's another spin. We still got some movies left to go, obviously, available on this wheel. Okay, and it's Fun Friday again, so I'm going to spin it again. I'm wondering if I should just write that down and put it back on the wheel just so it doesn't
There you
spin
go.
anymore.
You could do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I'm going to write Friday and Groundhog Day down, and if they come back up again, or I'll just remove both of them, and I'll put them back in when we spin the wheel
There you go. Yeah,
later. So I'm going to let me delete Groundhog Day as well really quick.
that works.
And then I will re-put them back in, I promise. All right, here we go, respin. And just remind me to do that before we do our final spin. All right.
Absolutely.
It's close, but it looks like we are going to talk some more Bill Murray. I know you are a fan though of What About Bob for Bill Murray.
Am. Oh, yes. I really dig this movie. Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss as Dr. Leo Marvin. I just for the first couple days after I watched this movie, I would, because I also rode the bus, I'd be saying, "Baby steps to the bus.
Get on the bus. Baby steps. Get on the bus. Baby steps. Sit on the bus. Baby steps. Get off the bus."
It's hilarious, and it almost turns into like a sort of horror movie towards the end too.
Yeah, a little bit, because he's like literally trying to kill him at the end and like
Yeah.
blow him up. Yeah, it gets really crazy. Yeah, at the end of that movie, for sure.
Yeah, it's this is a tough one. Do I go top 10 or do I go just outside the top 10? It's not 19.
Boy.
It's not 19.
Okay.
I'll go 11.
11. Okay.
11.
Fair enough. All right. What about Bob? If you recall, won your birthday tournament last year.
It did, yeah.
It is a tournament fight winner. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Bob will not be winning my birthday tournament this year because
it's music.
I don't think it has a score that I particularly remember or a soundtrack. No, that's been really tough to actually come up with a list for. I think I've got a list of like 55 that I'm like comfortable with, and then just narrowing down those last 10 or so.
Right. Yeah, just trying to fill it out. Yeah. And then you'll probably like have those things right before you send it. You'll be like, oh damn, I forgot this one. Like, do I put this one? What do I scoot out? Yeah.
Right.
Like at the last minute. All right. What I got left? I got one top 10 spot, and I got a couple right in between 13, 14, 15. So I got I have to make some decisions here. Yeah.
And we'll see
okay.
which spot gets Mission Impossible.
Okay, the original one? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, the original one, I rewatched it again not long ago for a Battleground because we talked about, I think we talked about it was like a quick question about like underrated Tom Cruise or something like that. And I advocated for Mission Impossible because I thought that people had kind of forgot about it, with all these other ones. And I went back and watched it, and like, it's really solid. Like, it's really, really solid. It's a good heist movie. It was like better than I thought, like remembered it, really good. Like that. where they break into the Pentagon or whatever it is in the middle of that movie. Like, it's really good. Yeah, the train sequence, he would probably do it for real now, but it's like, CGI green screen back then. But, knowing him now, he would probably do it for real. So it's a good movie, but I'll put it at number 15. I'm fine with doing that because I do like it, but I like, except for Mission Impossible 2, I like every other sequel more than that movie. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's crazy to talk about a franchise and have 4 movies above the original. Like, it doesn't happen that often that the quality.
I have 3, 4. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 above the original. I have 5 movies above the original in a franchise. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. That shows you how good the franchise is.
Right. And yeah, because we're not saying Mission Impossible is
it's bad, but it's like, even in the broader text of this, either this list or that franchise, I wouldn't even rate it like super, super high. So yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, again, solid one to put in there because it's definitely a kicked off a franchise that I adore. So I have no problem with that for sure. All right, so your next
3, 8, 12, and 19.
Yes, you're all over the place. All right, we're going back to the 2000s with a very influential or kind of out of nowhere big hit. Let's go Superbad from 2007.
Yeah, like you said, influential. I mean, I know people were talking about Booksmart like kind of being the Superbad of its time. I think Michael Cera and Jonah Hill are hilarious. I think they've got a really good friendship. Emma Stone is really good in this movie.
This is one of her breakout movies too. She was just kind of getting started, and now she's winning Oscars, and Jonah Hill is nominated for Oscars. People in this movie, are all over the place. Michael Cera was in a Oscar nominated film with Barbie. So everybody's kind of danced around this thing.
Seth Rogen has done Oscar nominated
films and stuff.
I mean, I would love to see Bill Hader do like something serious maybe and get that Oscar shine.
He might win an Emmy for Barry. It's very possible. So I can see him getting that.
I think I really love this one. I'm gonna go number 8 for Superbad.
Okay, Superbad. All right, Superbad at number 8. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Sorry. Richie sent a message to the.
I know. So I'm not looking at it right now because I don't want to lose my place on this wheel. I'll look at him later.
All I saw was AI generated, and I'm like, okay. All right. Let's see where you put Independence Day.
Ooh, I love me some Independence Day. That's another one that I have vivid memories of seeing in the theater, and that was one of the first movies, Jacob, that I ever saved up my allowance and said, "Hey, can I go watch that again?" And I have memories of that, and they dropped me off to go watch it again while my parents saw something else. Because I was just like, "Oh, this movie's so much fun." I mean, it's still kind of a nostalgic, great movie, as far as it's really entertaining and put together. I think the last third is not as exciting as the first third and whatnot. I think that build up to the disaster, the attack, is one of the great build up, tension kind of character building things in a movie. I really like it, but again, do I go 7 or 13? I'll go 13. I'll just burn that spot for that because I do really like it, but I don't watch it as much as I kind of used to, if that makes sense. Probably 10, 15 years ago, as I've gotten into more movies overall. But I really like Independence Day.
No, I love this movie. If this was reversed, I'd probably put it top 5.
Oh, really? Okay, top nice. 5. Yeah,
I'm pretty high on this movie. I had to rewatch it for a battleground, and I'm like, forgot how great this movie was.
And don't get me wrong, I've seen it a million times. That's another one. I know all the dialogue. I know it inside and out. I've seen it because I had it on VHS. I had the VHS that they used to do this with VHS covers where you had a holographic cover where you turn it and it was the White House, and then you turn it and be on fire with the hologram thing. Yeah. It's really great. You can probably find pictures of it online or videos or something. It's pretty. They used to do stuff like that. It was really great. I miss stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. I had that, and now I've owned it on every I had it on DVD, I have it on Blu-ray, I had like a Steelbook Blu-ray, things like that. So yeah, for sure. All right. Got a couple of spots left. You're one in the bottom, one in the middle, and one near the top. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's see.
got?
You definitely I got stuff all over the place on this list still, so we'll see what happens. All right, we're going with into the 2000s, barely in the 2000s, but we're going with The Hangover from 2009.
Okay, yeah. I've said this before. I'm not as high on The Hangover as other people. I think it's okay. I do think Zach Galifianakis is pretty hilarious, and that's the only reason that I would rewatch the movie. But other than that, like I think it's fine. And so I'm kind of glad this came up because now I can put this at 19.
Number 19. Okay.
I can put it at number 19 and not be worried about what's coming up.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds good. Well, hopefully you don't hit a banger and put it like, or well, hopefully you don't hit like a bad movie and have to put it way up there. We'll see.
Right,
or at least one you're not as high on as everybody else. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You got 3 and 12, and I've got 7 and 14. So I got a top 10 and a top half and one bottom half. So we'll see.
Yeah, and there's still some bangers on the list.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about.
But of course, we get sort of family action with Small Soldiers.
That's one that I haven't seen in like 20 years, man. Like it's been I remember the last time I think I saw it, I rented it from Blockbuster like in like 2002, 2003 when I was just watching everything. And I know it's Joe Dante, but that's one that I've been talking about. I need to go back and revisit it because it's just been forever. And yeah, because I do like Joe Dante, and I need to go back and see if it holds up or if it was like ahead of its time or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna burn that 14 slot. I have to, because I can't do a top 10 for a movie I haven't revisited in that long. I feel kind of bad putting it above like Mission Impossible because I probably like Mission Impossible more than that for sure, and I've watched it more recently, but that's okay. That list is like whatever. I can shuffle those last 6 or 7, no big deal.
Yeah,
so that works for me. All right, well, you got either a 3 or a 12 coming up, so all right, spinning the wheel.
Be good enough for a 3.
Right, let's see what happens. Okay, this is one that I don't know, and people either love it or they hate it. The Big Lebowski.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I think it's good. I think I think it's got some good performances here. I think it's got some good laughs. So I don't revisit it very often, but I'm okay with it at number 12.
Okay.
I mean, would I rewatch some of the movies that I have under it before it?
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think it's good quality and it's a good movie. So
that's another one I'm fascinated with, and I go back and watch it about once every 2 years or so. I've seen it with an audience. I'm still not there with it, but then again, for the longest time I wasn't there with it for like Doctor Strangelove, and I came around on it eventually. So maybe I'll still come around on it eventually. We'll see.
Really apologize to Joe Dante on the set of Gremlins.
Yeah. Well, why would he apologize for that? It wasn't his fault. But yeah, Christopher Reeve's great in Gremlins too. He's a lot of fun. There's one fact, and there's one scene where he comes into the science lab and he's carrying a pod from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Joe Dante always throws in. He throws in. He's a big fan of the original 56 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so he throws in like little nods to that movie all the time in his other movies because he loves it, and that's his little nod to Invasion. Like again, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, it doesn't like affect the movie. It's just there if you grab it. So yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. There are several movies on this list that I think you will be okay
top 10 worth
at number 7. But then there's a couple that I'm not sure of. So we'll see.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't have a choice. It just is what it is. So unless I
number 7 is going to be
flat out haven't seen it, but I doubt it. So
your number 7 is going to be Point Break.
Oh, I don't love Point Break. To be fair, I haven't gone back and watched it in a minute. The last time I actually saw it was in the theater, oddly enough, with Doug Benson. He did a little watch along thing at a live show, and like, I get why people like it. Like it's funny when they're talking about it in Hot Fuzz and shit like that. It's like the greatest thing ever. And whatnot. It has its merits, and I know some people dig it. I don't love it. But you know what? I probably like it more than Small Soldiers, so I'm stuck with number 7. What am I gonna do? But yeah, it's unfortunate because I definitely like some of the other stuff might in like 8, 9, and 10 way more way more than Point Break. But hey, Jacob, we always have those chips where they fall sometimes. And
There's always that one.
There's always that one where you're just like wah wah, like oh well, it is what it is.
I fear my one might be coming.
Oh yeah, well we'll see. I will say this: there are still, I would argue, 5 or 6 bangers on here. And then maybe 3 or 4 like 50-50. Your odds are in your favor that you could hit one of them. So how many? Okay, I'll give you this. How many times do you want me to hit the shuffle button for the final spin here, just to make it fair?
Twice.
Okay, 1, 2, and spin. All right. So we'll see. This will be your number 3, whatever it is. It is back to the 90s. Interesting. Tim Burton's Mars Attacks at number 3.
I'm okay with that.
There you go.
I'm okay with that. Would I put it at number 3?
Yes.
Probably not. I'd probably move it down a few spots, but I'm okay with it being number 3.
But it's Tim Burton. It's your favorite director. And number 3 is what I wrote down. Nice. So we are gonna watch Mars Attacks, which to be fair, that's a movie I love. It's in my 128. I love Mars Attacks. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation because it is Tim Burton. It is a lot of fun, and it could be a good rewatch maybe if you haven't gone back.
I rewatched it last year sometime, and I'm always down for a rewatch of Mars Attacks. So.
All right. Let me put Friday and Groundhog Day back in here just in case.
All right.
Like I said, I would. All right, cool. And then we still got to shuffle yours and mine. So there you go. Okay.
Would you like to know what's left on the list, or should I spin first?
No, I think we should both spin first and then tell each other what we missed afterwards. So yeah. So you spin the action and then I'll spin the comedy. So we are reviewing officially Raiders and Mars Attacks, plus these 2 movies coming up.
Well, I know you'll be happy about this. We probably don't need to do a rewatch for this, and neither do I. But
okay,
we probably will anyway.
It's a favorite,
great. It's a great movie. Yeah, because it's the Terminator.
Yay! I love the Terminator. Now, see, that's one like I was hoping would pop up because I'd be happy with like a top 5er on that, or like top 10 or something like that. I love the Terminator, man. So I'm always happy to talk Terminator. I'll definitely rewatch that just because I love it. So yeah, I love me some Terminator. Terminator is awesome. So yeah, cool. So we got a Cameron movie, a Tim Burton movie, a Steven Spielberg movie. We're doing pretty good here.
We are.
This is interesting. We got some classy directors on here. So, well, let's see what we get for our comedy. Once again, how many times do you want me to shuffle before I hit this?
Let's do 2 again.
2 again. 1 and 2. All right.
Worked out last time.
And then we'll both share what we have had left on the wheel. So, all right, spin. Ooh, this could be a fun one as well. We are going to talk Edgar Wright's Hot Fuzz.
All right, yeah, 4 great directors.
4 great directors and 4, I would argue, pretty good movies, or at least even Mars Attacks has a cult following, and people like me love it. So, okay, so we're talking Terminator, Hot Fuzz, which again, Hot Fuzz, it's like kind of an action spoofy kind of comedy, and again, we just talked about Point Break. They bring up Point Break in it. So, and then the action tropes and whatnot, but still comedic. And then, Raiders and Mars Attacks, which is kind of a spoof and a knockoff like 50 sci-fi, so like alien sci-fi and whatnot, and those old movies. So we'll talk about that. Hey, cool. Hey, still a pretty fascinating four movie thing there. I like it.
Yeah, I love this this foursome of movies.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, but the other ones that could have been spun, that we could have talked about, are Demolition Man.
Yeah. See, I like Demolition Man. That might be like another one of those, like, if I had come up earlier, would be like a number 10, like better or worse than Demolition Man, because I love it. Like I'm probably a bigger fan than most people, but I dig it. Yeah.
We have Speed.
Oh, Speed's like a top 5er, so that would have been like a top 5er pretty easily. And that would have been one if I had to throw it in number 1, like I'd be okay with that because I love me some Speed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
I like it. Don't love it. Like the sequel better.
Armageddon.
I was just watching Armageddon in the gym, oddly enough, before I went here. Yeah, just like I wanted to put on something I didn't have to pay attention to too much, but I really like Armageddon. It's a guilty pleasure. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back.
I mean,
obviously. I'd put a Star Wars movie in there.
Sure. No, I mean, it makes sense. Although it might be the least actiony out of the 3, the original ones, maybe. to a
Yeah,
degree.
no, I could agree with that. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
why I wanted to throw it in there because it's like, well,
Oh yeah.
how are you ranking this? Are you ranking it based
Totally.
on the
Yeah.
action or
Right. I mean, but it's still an all-time favorite, so like it would
yeah?
probably be top 10, like pretty easily, like somewhere on there. Yeah, for sure. All
And
right.
then we have speaking of Carl Weathers, we've got Predator.
Foxy, if Predator come up, that might have been one that just because I didn't know what else on the list, I might have thrown that at like one or two, just because Predator gets better and better every time I watch it, and it's held up
Mhm.
beautifully. So that would be one I throw pretty high. Yeah,
And then two more, we've got The Running Man
Running Man's a great guilty pleasure that I love. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of
and
fun.
finally Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard. I just saw it again in the theater, and that would probably be like a pretty high, top five, top six sort of a thing, just for how many times it's been knocked off and whatnot. So yeah, definitely. All right. Well, your ones you left on the table. Obviously, the two you said you haven't seen, Groundhog Day and Friday.
Yeah,
But we also had Dumb and Dumber. Speaking of the Fairleys,
okay,
so that was
probably top
available.
10
Okay.
or
Uh,
hovering around the top 10.
sure. We had the other Will Ferrell banger from the 2000s, Anchorman, was available.
Oh, that would have been a top 5 as well. That was the other one
Yeah.
that I was mentioning is well that and Talladega Nights, like all three of them are
Yeah.
of that caliber for me.
We had the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which I think you're not as high on as everybody else. I
No,
think.
so I think I would have put it bottom 5, but again, I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't find it as funny as some other people do.
Sure. We had Office Space.
Oh, that's a banger. That's top
Mhm.
10.
Yeah. We had School of Rock, which I know you're a big fan of.
Top 3.
Yeah. I was wondering if that had popped up, you probably would have been like, "Yep, number 3. That works. That works for me."
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been perfect, but unfortunately, just missed. We had Tropic Thunder was available.
Okay, yeah, I just watched it for the first time not too long ago, and I really enjoyed it. I need to give it a rewatch. So, that like 11 to 15 for now would have
Mhm.
probably been where I put it.
And the final one would have been one that I know a lot of people like, but it doesn't get brought up as I think as much as it should. Role Models with Paul Rudd.
Okay, yeah, no, that's probably then that 11 to 15
Okay.
as well. I think it's good. It's just I don't revisit it very often.
Okay.
It's probably been quite a few years since I've seen it.
So like I said, there was a couple of potential top fivers still left in there, and then some other stuff. So you had a chance there for sure. But
I
I
hope
kind of think it's poetic that the last one you spun was at least a Tim Burton movie. And oddly
right,
enough,
yeah,
one of the Tim Burtons without Johnny Depp, though. As many people as are in that movie, as when you go back and watch it, you'll see.
yeah,
Everybody's in that movie except Johnny Depp. Everybody. So
yeah. So, uh, just to recap your list,
yes.
I'll go from 20 to 1.
Okay.
So at 20 you have Beverly Hills Cop. At 19 you've got Highlander. 18 is The Hunt for Red October.
Mhm.
17 is Top Gun. 16 is Akira. 15 Mission Impossible. At
Mhm.
14 is Small Soldiers. Number 13 Independence Day. Number
Mhm.
12 Air Force One. Number 11 is Big Trouble in Little China. Kicking off
I
the
should
top.
I should have put Independence Day at the number 7 slot when it came up. God damn it. I should have, because yeah, I really do like it. Damn, I fucked up. That was a mess up on my part. Yeah. I should have just pulled the trigger on that one.
And then
Anyways.
kicking off the top 10. I think it's a great top 10, other than
Okay.
maybe for you that number 7 for you
Yeah.
personally. But at 10 we got They Live,
Yes.
followed by Men in Black, and then we got
Mhm.
Rush Hour, Point
Mhm.
Break, The
Mhm.
Phantom,
Mhm.
Con Air,
Mhm.
Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Mhm.
RoboCop, Batman, and The Matrix. Yeah, I think it's a good list. This might be
Well, that might be one of my better ones overall, because yeah, the only one I flubbed on was like the Point Break, Independence Day. If I had flip flopped those, it would have been almost perfect. Like that would have been, I would have been like super happy, like
yeah.
completely. So, all right, well, yours starting at number 20, you have Paul Blart, Mall Cop for Ridley. Number 19, you have The Hangover. Yeah. Number 18, Good Burger.
So far, so good.
17 going to Wayne's World.
Mhm.
16, Tommy Boy. Sure.
Yeah,
15, Waterboy.
I'm digging the list so far.
14, There's Something About Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
13, Home Alone.
Still liking it.
Still like it? Yeah, 12 Big
Still liking
Lebowski.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I might have put that one a little lower
but
for
still,
me
yeah,
personally, but I'm
but not bad
okay
so
with
far. Yeah, not
yeah.
bad so far. Number 11, What About Bob? Number 10, Wedding Crashers, right in the middle.
Hmm.
Uh, Number 9, The Mask. You have number 8 is Super Bad. Number 7, Liar Liar. Number 6, Borat. And your top 5 is Hot Rod, followed by Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Mars Attacks, Step Brothers, and Happy Gilmore. That's a pretty good top 10, though, man. We got some
Yeah,
good comedy in there, like
yeah.
for sure.
I might move Mars Attacks down if you. I wouldn't take it out of the top 10 for sure. I might
Yeah,
move it down a few spots, but yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with the list. I think this might be one of my better lists so
I would
far.
say so because yeah, I don't think you really had a lot of like flubs because even then, to be fair, with Mars Attacks, like I said, it's Tim Burton. It is your guy, so like it's
Yeah,
not like an egregious one. You know what I mean?
right.
Like it's not like horrible, like a horrible movie or anything. So not like you had to stick Paul Blart in there or something like that.
That would oh, that would have happened. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right. So I mean, at least you got that going for you.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we both did pretty well. Like not
I
too
think so
bad.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like these lists, and yeah, we've got some bangers to talk about in a couple weeks. So I'm looking
We
forward
have,
to
we
that.
have all 4 of these movies are in my 128 that we're talking about in
Oh,
2
really?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mars Attacks, Raiders, Terminator, Hot Fuzz are all legitimately in my 128. So I love all these
Nice.
movies. Yeah, yeah. It's because I'm a bigger fan of Mars Attacks than a lot of people. I think that movie's fantastically brilliant. Like I think it's
Mhm.
awesome. And yeah, like I said, all 3 of the original Indiana Jones are in there. I you know me, I've always said like no disrespect to T2, but T1 over T2, like for me personally. And then I'll talk
Yep.
about that. I'll expand on it on the show and kind of explain
Right.
myself. And then Hot Fuzz is my favorite cornetto. And so, yeah, it's in there.
Mm.
So there you go. Yeah, we're talking about 4 bangers for me personally. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
with
that's
that.
that's gonna be a fun show. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
We might have to spend more than 15 minutes on each one on this one.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be a longer show than we usually do. We'll
Yeah.
see.
So, but yeah, no, that'll be a good time.
Yeah.
And what was also a good time. I don't know when it's going up,
Yeah.
but today we recorded last night. Myself, Aaron, and Malcolm. Just to get into the plugs real quick.
Yes.
We recorded a battleground countdown. It was a little bit of a different countdown though. We did like an Oscars rewrite where we took 11 categories. We took the 8 main categories, and then we chose 3 of the others. Gave our picks for what we would have nominated, and then came to a consensus of all of our lists to come up with a list of 5. Best Picture we did 11 because that's just how the show works. It's a top 11.
Mhm.
And so it was a lot of fun. Tune in. It should be dropping at some point today, if not already. But I'll be sure to share that in the Schmodown Friends and Family group as well over
sure.
at TMG Entertainment. It was a fun time. I'm curious to see what people think of our picks.
Well, and on the opposite end of that spectrum, I also was on with Aaron Knoll last night, but we went live, so that one's already up on TMG Entertainment. And yeah, I think we already shared that in the group as well. But we did the opposite. Me and JPO were on with him talking worst movies because that's what we do. And because we see a lot of bad movies. But we were doing like our next grouping, so like 12 through 22 on our rankings, and then we had already submitted our top 11, so we came up with like a master list of the worst 22 or something like that. That sort of thing by the end. So if you want to see what movies not to watch, you can go watch that, or what to avoid. Or if you're into bad movies like I am, maybe the movies to watch. I don't know.
Right.
I've got a few already for my list for this year. I've already got 3 I could put on a worst.
So do I.
So we're off and running already. I'm filling out my list. So
I think I've got 5 that I'm comfortable. If they
I've got
stay at the bottom.
I've got one that's like a 4.5 out of 10, and if we get as many as we did last year, which I don't know, there's just not as many movies. My like 4s and 5s out of 10s didn't end up making the top like 11 or 12 worst, just because I saw worse things later in the
Mhm.
year. So like if
Right.
I had to make one right now and had 4, I could have technically 4 that I definitely don't recommend. But
Yeah.
but I have 3 already that are like a 3 or less out of 10. So I'm off to the races.
Yeah. Me too. I've got 3 1 out of 5s already.
There you go. Nice.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with the rest of the year.
But yeah, that's up on there. And yeah, as far as the rest of the channel, real quick, for next week, yeah, we got a Seen and Heard drinking edition for St. Patrick's Day, coming up, where it's going to be all Seen and Heard scenes, like with people drinking either at a party or at a bar or at some function or something, where people are enjoying beverages. So that'll be
Mhm.
there. We got a fantasy sci-fi geek character tournament, and then we've got Jordan versus Zach Shelton in a TV tournament, and then we'll be doing another wheel-ish thing next week, because me and Jordan will hop on and spin the master 1300 movie wheel or whatever it is with all of
Right.
our 128s and 64s for another mystery tournament on the 19th. So that's what we got coming up. So we'll do that next Saturday most likely, and get ready for that show.
Yeah. And
The,
then
the
also,
wheel that's like just a blob, and like it clicks, but like you can't really see it moving. It's like it clicks like that. So not like once we hit tonight. This is fun, man. I always enjoy doing these. Yeah, every now and then, every couple of months, just something we don't have to like prep for. Just put some lists together and just have a little
Right.
fun. And then yeah, good to talk about a host of different movies a few weeks later, and then probably after that, I'd imagine we'll probably get back into our anniversary series, most likely.
Yeah.
Coming up
Probably,
after
I'll
that.
probably kick that off soon.
We'll kick that off soon. Probably the show after this next show, something like that. We'll start, because
Yeah.
we've already talked about the years we've got. We might have to do like 4 movies for each year this time,
Right.
and not just like
A
2
couple
for
of them
one,
already.
2 for another one. So we'll work our way through those throughout the year for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. I also enjoy doing these a lot. So we'll have to see what we want to do the next time we
I might just shift mine for next
podcast.
time for you. I'll stay in action, but I'll go like 2000s, 2010s action, that sort of thing for mine, and just stay in the same genre, but look at a different grouping of movies. And you can
Mhm.
either pick another genre or some other decades or whatnot, and yeah, we'll have some fun. So
Yeah.
we'll do it again at some point for sure.
Yeah. So this was fun. Check out everything that's going on the channel. Hit that bell, subscribe, share, like. Check out all the content. We will be back in a couple weeks with a podcast about movies. So until then, take it easy, and we will see you next time.